Jedi named you spent once droid in the galley. Jedi named these droid in the galley. Jedi named you spent once droid in the galley. Jedi named these droid in the galley.
Everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the live supporter Q&A. So the way this usually works is patrons submit their questions on Patreon. I always make an all call saying, you know, post your questions for the live Q&A, and then everybody posts their questions in my post, and I pull those questions and I do some Q&A action on a live stream. And sponsors, like direct YouTube sponsors, submit their questions on Discord, which I'll start with the Discord questions first because there's not as many as there are on Patreon. So yeah, just think of this as like a little podcast, just a little hangout. What do you think? What's up, Charisma Tone? Tony Zotti, hello there. Hello there. An Obi-Wan accent, mock Obi-Wan accent. Nice. What's up, dude? It's good to see you, man. So yeah, I do a supporter Q&A every other month. So basically 6 days out of the year, 6 days out of 365 days, 1.64% out of a year. So it's a little way to say thank you to those who support the channel on a monthly basis. You know, I'm just a one-man show. I can't do much. In the past, I used to, you know, when a new like patron or somebody would sponsor the channel through Patreon, I would occasionally send them like a little a signed picture. It just got overwhelming. I'm a one-man show, so now you know, I can't do that unfortunately. So this is just a little way to say thank you apart from my normal content. So yeah, welcome to the stream, everybody that's hanging out. I know some of you guys are ticked off that the chat is sponsor only, but hey, 6 times out of the year I do this. I got to say thank you somehow, right? So let's start with the Discord YouTube sponsored direct questions, all right? We'll start with Josh Warrior. After this, we'll move on to the patron questions. Josh Warrior asks, so I would like to make my channel grow big making Star Wars videos like you. However, I am 15 and I feel like people won't respect me. That's nonsense, man. I am very mature for my age and I have been editing video as freelance since I was 9. No joke. That's crazy. Usually when I ask this kind of question, everyone is always like, you have to make good quality videos and make sure to tag your videos properly. These are things that I do. So I would like your tips. You truly are an inspiration to me. Sorry, that is very small. I should have made that bigger. I'm having a hard time reading it. The truth is, everyone that said you have to make good quality videos and make sure to tag your videos properly are correct. I am not good at tagging my videos. I've never looked into it. If like I mention Han Solo in a video, I just type Han Solo in the tags. I'm sure my channel would be a lot bigger if I legitimately knew the analytics and that like background algorithm or whatever in the tagging. So I can't really give any pointers on that. I'm sure that is a very legitimate pointer and something that you should follow. Because for me, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. But that really, the way you grow your channel, you can't have that in mind. I know that's tempting, right, Josh? You create YouTube videos, you want your channel to blossom, you want it to grow. There is no simple trick. There's no secret formula. The only thing you can do is put out the videos that you want to make. I know that sounds cheesy. I know that sounds completely cliche. But if you're focusing on the subscriber count, you're focusing on the wrong thing. You just got to make the content, and organically, subscribers will come. Like I've always said that you can't look at YouTube as if it's and Tony Zotti, if my microphone's all screwed up, let me know if the audio quality is okay. I just want to make sure I'm not recording this and doing a stream while everything's messed up. But I've always said, Josh, that you cannot look at YouTube like a video game. Meaning, you can't think of it as, I got to reach the next level. I got to reach, 10,000 subscribers, 100 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers. You can't really think about that. If you do, you're kind of doing yourself a disservice. It's all about putting out the quality content that you are proud of. Everything else is background noise and will come organically. So yeah, long story short, make what you want to make. Don't feel pressured to go with the trends. Make your own trends, and make stuff that you're happy about. There's no secret formula. I mean, I started the channel back in 2012. Wait, was it 2012? Let me see. Let me look. Changes 1. Changes 1. Why can't I type today? 2011. September 27th, 2011. So that was like 5.5 years ago. No, wait. Oh my god, it was 2011? That's crazy. I didn't realize that. So what's that? Like 6.5 years ago? So my channel just reached 200,000 subscribers, you know? It's been a long process, and I've never felt like I needed to hit this like subscriber milestone. I've never had like subscriber envy. I've never felt like, oh, I need to get to the next level. I need to gather more followers. It's all about just making the stuff you want to make, being happy with it. Don't make YouTube your main thing when you first start. Oh, look at that. Simple. Thank you so much for the sponsorship, man. We have a new fleet member, a new sponsor to the channel. I greatly appreciate that, man. If you want to chit-chat in the chat, I'll be here to answer some of your questions. But primarily right now, I'm going to be focusing on the pre-submitted questions. But simple. I greatly appreciate it. Welcome to the fleet, man. It means the world. The channel survives because of you guys, for sure. All right, but Josh, I hope I answered your question. That was a long answer for, I kind of went rambling, right? Reyes Bay asked this question. Is this pod racing? Nope. This is I guess you could call this podcasting. Reyes Bay? I don't know. James C. James C asks a lot of questions here. A lot of questions. Maybe I should just say ask one question, right? James C. How did you hear about the 501st? What made you decide to join? I've known about the 501st for a very long time. Just because, I've been a Star Wars fan for a very long time, and I've always wanted to kind of have a set of Stormtrooper armor, and I've been following the 501st for a very long time, and I just decided to join when I got out of the military, and I had some savings saved up, and I wanted to pursue it. I've been thinking about it. I had been thinking about it for a very long time, and I just needed to pull the trigger on it. James C goes on to say, have you ever had an encounter with a famous Star Wars actor? If so, how was it? Is the saying true? Never meet your heroes. No, I've actually never met a Star Wars actor. Never have. When it comes to famous people, I've met Dan Marino. Actually drove Dan Marino around years ago in a golf cart. He was sipping on Bloody Marys, and I was drinking some beer, and we were shooting the shit. It was actually kind of neat. And at the time, I occasionally chewed tobacco, and Dan Marino had some of my tobacco. Don't do that, kids. It's dumb. When the new Star Wars land opens up, would you ever visit the park in costume? No, I wouldn't do that. I'd want to go enjoy myself. Not to mention, the Stormtrooper armor is very cumbersome. You're not comfortable in it. And yeah, not to mention it's going to be crowded as hell, right? So I don't want to be bumping and jiving into people, Yeah. If you could save one of the main characters in Rogue One to live out their days, who would it be and why? Chirrut Imwe. Chirrut was my favorite character in Rogue One. I thought he had more depth than anyone else. He was a more interesting character, a more fun character than anybody else in the movie. And I'd like to see more of him. Not necessarily in the films, but maybe in some comics. I think he's present in some comics. I might be wrong about that. You guys know me. I'm a dummy. But I've met Mark Hamill. He was so cool. Nice, Simple. That's awesome. If I could meet one Star Wars actor, I think it would be Mark Hamill, Simple. Because he gets it, right? He's a fan's fan. He understands all of our love for it. And he's not apprehensive about it. He succumbs to it. He gets it, That's awesome, though, Simple. Okay, last one from James C. Question. On the streams, you mentioned that a movie focusing on the underworld, Jedi, etc. would be interesting Star Wars movie. Telling an entirely new story with new characters. From what perspective what would distinguish that movie from any generic sci-fi fantasy movie? In other words, without the Force, laser swords, and nostalgic callbacks, what makes a Star Wars movie a Star Wars movie? That's a really interesting question, James. I'm sure that's different for everybody, but for Greedo, what are the distinct characteristics of a good Star Wars movie that set it apart from a generic sci-fi fantasy romp like Guardians? Should there be something distinctive about a Star Wars movie? Really, what makes it Star Wars, and it sounds really maybe like shallow, is the sounds, the visuals, the pace of it. I don't know. That's a really tough question, man. I mean, anything with the beeps and boops. For whatever reason, my senses remember certain little things in Star Wars. Like, I can hear a mouse droid, and my brain goes, "That is a mouse droid. How do I know that's a mouse droid?" So I don't know. I don't really. It's an interesting question. What would distinguish it from any other generic sci-fi film, right? I don't know. I really don't know. The look of it, to tell you the truth. The feel of it. The underdog nature of it. The blasters, the beeps, the sounds. That's really about it, right, James? I think. I don't know. That's a tough question, though. Hello, Austin asks, "Hey, Greedo. I'm Sam Austin on YouTube." Nice, Sam. And my question is, what is your favorite movie franchise other than Star Wars? 3 movies or more. Harry Potter for me because it's a childhood thing for me. What's your favorite book series? Mine's a Song of Ice and Fire by George R. R. Martin. The books Game of Thrones is based on. Thanks for your stream/videos. Keep up the great work. I appreciate that, Austin. I don't know. I get, it's interesting because my other favorite trilogies, my other favorite movie franchises aren't necessarily like my favorite movies. Like Indiana Jones, obviously, yeah, and they're some of my favorite movies. Back to the Future, those two franchises are probably my favorite. I kind of look at Indiana Jones as a trilogy, though. Crystal Skull did nothing for me, unfortunately. But yeah, I would say Back to the Future and Indiana Jones, and I hope they never continue to make Back to the Future movies. I hope we have another. I hope we never have a fourth Back to the Future movie. Please don't ever do that. Not everything needs to come back, right? Not everything needs to make a comeback. But my favorite book series, hello Austin. I'm not much of a fiction reader, to tell you the truth. I don't really get into. I really like the Red Mars. If you're looking for hard sci-fi, I've read Red Mars and Green Mars, right? Yeah, where they terraform it. I read those years ago. That's kind of my fiction that I like to read. Oh, one sec.
Hey Greedo, I was wondering if you could watch this Darth Vader Anakin edit. V equals week 0 Brelyuk. That's the ending of the link because can't send links.
Hey, Hawaii Matthew, thank you so much for the super chat donation and the channel support. I actually did not know that super chats were turned on for non-sponsors, but that's cool. So if you guys want to get in on the action, feel free to super chat and support the channel. Hey, Greedo, I was wondering if you could watch this Darth Vader Anakin edit. That's the ending of the link because I can't send videos. Yes. I'm gonna have to copy and paste that and save it for later. Okay, man. Let me go ahead and. Okay, I don't want to click on it and get that audio going and get me get this stream shut down. But I have it saved up in my bookmarks now, Hawaii Matthew, and maybe at the end of the stream I'll check it out. We can chit chat about it, but I primarily want to do the questions from these Q&As, But Hawaii Matthew, thank you so much for the super chat donation and the channel support. I will absolutely 100% check it out. I got it saved up there, but I appreciate that, man. What's up, Dolphier? And Ollie, Nine Nut. Good to see you guys. All right. But yeah, Austin, Sam Austin. I don't really have a favorite book series. I like to read more nonfiction, kind of more, not necessarily philosophical, but more scientifically driven books, like from Carl Sagan. I like Stephen Hawking, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Richard Dawkins. That's kind of the stuff I enjoy reading, not necessarily fiction, if that makes sense. But, oh, geez, look at me. I'm a dummy. I had it pulled up, on my other monitor. I didn't even realize that I didn't scroll up for Hello Austin's question. Well, there it is. I apologize for that. But I hope I answered your question, Austin. Mr. Sam. All right, let's move to the patron questions. How about that? Just finished up Fahrenheit 451. Great read if you wanted something sci-fi. 99. Yeah, I read that when I was in school. Long time ago. I vaguely remember it. Vaguely remember it. But I'd be up for it. 1984 is one of my favorite fiction books. From George Orwell. Along with Animal Farm. Animal Farm's good too. Short little quick read. Interesting. Raymond Leon, these are questions from patrons. Raymond Leon, here's my question. How did you come up with the name HelloGreedo? So, back in the day, this was probably 2000. God, this was probably 2006, 2007, before I went to boot camp. So basically, I would put my Greedo mask on that I bought for the 2005 midnight release of Revenge of the Sith. I wore it to the midnight premiere. And then I put that mask on in like early 2007, I think, and I just sat in my bed with a webcam pointed at me. And I got on this website called Justin TV, and I would just act like an idiot. And my name on there was HelloGreedo. I don't know why I came up with the name. I think I liked the way it rolled off the tongue, HelloGreedo. Just kind of had like a um, I don't know, a good, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't even know what I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but I just like the way it sounded, to tell you the truth. So I came up with it back in 2007, and that's when I actually created this channel, in 2007. I had the name HelloGreedo reserved from 2007 to 2011 for 4 years. From before I went into the military till after I went into the military. That block of time, the HelloGreedo YouTube channel did exist. Like if you go to the About section or whatever on the channel itself, it'll say 2007. But I didn't upload my first video until 2011. So yeah, there's really no that it's kind of a, I guess it's not really an exciting story, but HelloGreedo just sounded good to me. I dug the way it sounded, you know. Let me pull up these other questions on my other monitor just so they're a little bigger for me, for my old eyes. Let me see you with my own eyes. Let me pull it up. Questions 2. Okay, maximize the size. Bop, bop, bop. Cool. All right. Tim Elliott asks, after watching all 10 movies in one sitting, 21 hours, 38 minutes, I literally finished episode 7 in line for my episode 8 tickets. I really felt like Star Wars took on a new meaning for me. Have you ever, or do you ever plan on doing a one-sitting marathon? Highly recommend it, although I did start to hallucinate a bit by episode 8. Yeah, I believe it. No, I've never done that. Never done a full Star Wars, like, from prequel to episode 7 marathon. I've never done that. The closest I've ever came was back in high school. My next door neighbor, my buddy, I'm still really good friends with today. He was in my wedding. We used to have what we called Star Wars Freak Nights. I don't know why we called them that, but our goal was to watch the original trilogy in one night. I honestly don't remember if we were ever successful. That's a lot to ask. I'm sure we did it at least once. But yeah, we used to call it Star Wars Freak Nights. And no, I've never done a full all 10 or all Star Wars movie sitting. And I don't know if I ever will, to tell you the truth. That's a lot, man. 21 hours and 38 minutes. And now you got to tack on the 2 hours, 2.5 hours for episode 8. So you'd be looking at a full day right there, right? You'd be looking at 24 hours. I don't know if I could do that, especially not with a baby on the way. But that's cool. I'm glad you did that, Tim. Let me scroll up a little bit. Ryan Harp asks, hey, Greedo, here's my question. What is your favorite visual effects scene in the entire Star Wars saga? Oh, golly. See, I don't know. And it's kind of interesting. Like I'm not a hater of CG. Just because I've harped on CG's overuse in the past doesn't mean I dislike CG. So I kind of gravitate towards more the practical effects, just because like I can picture myself making, you know, I've used Maya a lot in the past. I made 3D characters. I made like environments and stuff like that. I can kind of picture how that is made. I feel like I could do that. Not at that level, of course. But I gravitate towards practical effects because I have no idea how. I have zero idea how to do that with my hands. So I find that fascinating. I love that movie magic aspect of it. Seeing miniatures, seeing practical effects and whatnot. But if I can pick one, I don't know if I could just pick one, Ryan. I mean, God, it could be something as subtle as the twin suns on Tatooine, which is my favorite scene of all time. Luke gazing out at the twin suns. It could be something as simple as that. Or, God, I really don't even know. I can't just pick one, Ryan. Like, even like the lightsabers are cool, right? 1977, you had these glowing sticks. It was very impressive. Just something cool that they did. Even the Death Star battles, even Return of the Jedi. I mean, all the work pre-CGI, pre-computers, all the work that went into making that second Death Star battle. That's impressive. That's very impressive, you know. So no, Ryan, I can't just pick one. I can't. I'm trying to think, but I can't just pick one. Because as soon as I pick one, I'll think of something that that is maybe a little more impressive, you know. Also, if you want, this is Ollie. Also, if you want nonfiction, I just started on Stephen Hodgson's A Brief History of Time. I actually have that. I've actually read it. It's sitting in my bookshelf. My dad actually might have gave that to me. It might actually be his book. I might have borrowed it a long time ago, like years and years and years ago. Maybe I should see if he wants it back. I don't know. What's up, Raymond? The next question comes from Alexander I know I'm gonna butcher your name. It's not you. It's me. I'm a dummy. Alexander Garcilazo Marino. Maybe I didn't butcher that too bad. Hey, HelloGreedo. Do you think Kelly Marie Tran is getting as much hate as Jake Lloyd and or Ahmed Best did after the Phantom Menace? Thanks. May the Force be with you. Oh.
Are you happy that we are getting the writers from GOT to do Star Wars? Also, can't wait for Thanos because they use the same CGI as they did for Snoke.
Oh, nice. Hawaii Matthew, thank you so much for the super chat donation and the channel support, man. Give me 1 second to answer Alexander's question, and then I will hop on to your question. Sound good, dude? Alexander said, do you think Kelly Marie Tran is getting as much hate as Jake Lloyd of Ahmed Best, Phantom Menace? Alexander, I think she's getting way more. I think she's getting way more. And it's stupid, right? I've seen so much hate lobbed at her way, especially like on her birthday. You go through the comment section, you just start to are these even human beings? It's people, man. People are ridiculous. So no, I think she's getting more hate, and it's more it's dumb, right? And it's all because of social media. I mean, think about the quote unquote hate that maybe a Jake Lloyd or an Ahmed Best got after the Phantom Menace. And multiply that by, I don't even know if 1,000. I don't even know if 1,000 is a high enough number. I mean, think about social media. It's this completely new platform. It's not natural for human beings to talk in this way. To be connected with strangers from all over the globe, anonymously, and you can just spew bullshit as much as you possibly want. You can just harp on people that you'll never meet. There's no repercussions for your actions. A lot of the people that are probably slinging this hate her way, they're probably trolls. They're probably just trying to get a rise out of people. They probably don't even believe their own bullshit, you know? So no, Alexander, I think she's getting a lot more unjustifiable hate than they did just because of social media. I think it's dumb as fuck that people are giving her a hard time. It's dumb as fuck. And if people listening to this are giving her a hard time and they're the ones commenting on her social media accounts and stuff like that, sorry, dude, you're dumb as fuck. But Alexander, I appreciate that question. It's interesting to think about, right? Social media is definitely a double-edged sword because you can find some really, really neat stuff, right? Have some really, really great conversations. Meanwhile, people are anonymous and they don't choose to use that anonymity for good. They choose to use it for to be a big asshole. You know, it's weird. People are weird. Hawaii Matthew, are you happy? This is a super chat donation. Are you happy that we are getting the writers from Game of Thrones to do Star Wars? Also, can't wait for Thanos because they use the same CG as they did for Snoke. Yeah, I've always said that if Disney feels confident enough to have anybody write a Star Wars movie, to have anybody act in a Star Wars movie, to have anybody direct a Star Wars movie. I apologize if my microphone's bouncing up and down. The little mechanism that keeps it down actually broke, so whenever I move, it bounces. I apologize. I actually have a new, really nice mic coming in the mail. Should be here later this week, so yeah, I'm pumped for that audio quality. But no, Matthew, I've always said that if they feel confident in somebody's ability to bring a new Star Wars story to life, I'm on board. So yeah, I am happy with it. I like Game of Thrones. I'm a big fan of the first maybe 3 seasons. I thought it was a really solid show. And maybe I'm in the minority and it seems that way, but since the show has... Oh yeah, I see that, Ollie. I see that. I I'll have to change that later. But since the show has surpassed the books, like, I think it's gone a little downhill. It used to be so unpredictable. And it's like the show now is too scared to kill anybody off. And I know there was I don't want to spoil anything. The big bomb, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. But it just seems like it feels like a different show than it used to. It feels like a different show, to me at least. And I'm curious what the Game of Thrones guys are going to do. Because, you know, they were working with already established stories, already established characters. Now they have to write a completely brand new script, a brand new set of characters, a brand new story. So I'm intrigued. I'm not nervous. I think it'll be interesting to get new blood in the Star Wars universe to be making stories that might be pretty neat, you know. So no, I'm pumped for it, Matthew, and I'm not that excited for it right now because it's probably like 5 years away, right? Maybe even longer. But no, I'm excited at the moment, as much as I can be. All right. Ryan Maggard asks, hello, my question for you is, with JJ coming back for episode 9, do you think God, I need to clean my monitor. I'm just noticing this. It looks like if you put on dirty sunglasses. With JJ coming back for episode 9, do you think he will try to change some of the plot lines that Ryan either made or ended? For example, could he bring back Snoke in some way with Finn? Oh, will Finn and Phasma be relevant again at all in episode 10? I just feel like the story JJ was a part of had a lot of storylines that were engaging while also posing good questions for the fans. Then Ryan entered the picture and ended most of them quickly with little payoff, in my opinion. To be clear, I enjoyed episode 8, but it definitely rubbed me the wrong way a few times throughout the movie. Keep up the great content, man. The thing is, J.J. Abrams was a producer for episode 8. You know? He knew the story. He said he was cool with it. He said he enjoyed it. So, no, I don't think J.J. Abrams is going to bring back Snoke. I don't think he's going to bring back Phasma. Maybe Finn will play a larger role. Who knows? Ultimately, the story of episode 9 will be... The story of episode 9 is a story of Kylo Ren and Rey. And I really think that's the direction that J.J. Abrams is going to go in. I think bringing back Snoke would be a complete distraction. Bringing back Phasma would be a complete distraction and a big eye-rolling moment. Because, you know, in The Force Awakens, she apparently was thrown into a trash compactor. And I thought that was the end of her. And then we see her again. We saw her in the Last Jedi trailer, and I was like, oh, man. And now she's thrown down into a pit of fire and explosions. So to bring her back for a third film, I think that would be like Groundhog Day, almost. But no, I don't think J.J. Abrams is going to bring a lot of the stuff back that Rian Johnson killed off. I think I enjoyed what Rian Johnson did with the story and the plot points and everything. I truly did. And obviously J.J. Abrams did. He signed off on it. He was a producer. He was cool with it. So I think he's going to come up with his own tale to tell and kind of discount a lot of the stuff that people want to bring back, if that makes sense. But yeah, let me bring this back up. What's up, Venom? Mark! The next question comes from Rebel Alliance. Mark. Sup, Greedo? Let me look at my other monitor because it's bigger. Sup, Greedo? Which realization do you think... which realization do you think had the bigger impact on the character? Luke finding out the Jedi Order of the Clone Wars that he idolized were filled with hypocrisy and hubris, as he put it, which I loved. Or Rey finding out that Luke is not the hero she thought he was anymore. I don't know if that makes any... It totally makes sense, dude. But as always, I love your content, and I'm psyched for you to be a dad. Well, I appreciate that, man. I'm psyched as well. That's that's really what I loved about episode 8. It was a story about legends, right? Legends letting you down. Heroes letting you down. As someone said earlier in one of the questions, never meet your heroes, right? I love the fact that Luke had those lines in The Last Jedi, talking about the Jedi Order. The Jedi have they're a history of failure. They allowed Sidious to rise, filled with hypocrisy and hubris, as you said. I love that. And then, right in line with that, Rey finding out that Luke is not the hero she thought he was. I love that as well. I don't know if there's a bigger impact. They kind of go hand in hand, right? But I just love the idea of Luke learning more about the failures of this belief system that he bought into. He's a man whose belief system has failed him. He's a man that's lost. He's a man that's lost his faith. I think that's very impactful. I think that's very important. And it's interesting for the character of Luke Skywalker. And I dig it. So no, I don't think one is bigger than the other. One has more of an impact than the other. The Last Jedi was a story about kind of disappointment with legends, you know. But that's one of the big things that I loved about it. So no, I don't think one of those is bigger than the other. But I like them equally, to tell you the truth. In terms of the story, though, like the film's universe, they kind of go hand in hand. I don't know. All right, let me scroll up. I need to find out a better method because if I use the mouse, OBS, I don't know how to put this, will not let you like hold shift and drag up. So I have to use the arrow key. That's why that goes so slow. All right. Next question comes from Grand Admiral Irvin. Sup, Greedo? Greetings from Austin, Texas. I was wondering if you could offer any advice or words of encouragement. I'm 22 right now, 23 in May. Nice. And I have no clue what I want to do in life. Me either, man. I currently work as a welder. Have been since high school. Why did I want to say childhood? And it's a pretty good job. But over the past years, I've taken a big interest in film and animation. I really want to get involved in the industry. In what role? I don't exactly know yet. It's something that interests me far more than welding, but I'm afraid of taking that next step and ending up failing. I don't know what I should do. I either stay where I am at, making decent money but not being interested in my job, or I risk it and try to get involved in something that I have no real experience in, though I'm willing to learn, but actually interests me. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. But congrats on the baby. Love your channel and keep up the great work, fam. Well, I appreciate that, Grand Admiral Irvin. It's kind of interesting. I had a conversation with my brother-in-law's, my sister's husband's dad. We were down helping them move back to Florida from Texas because my brother-in-law is in the military and he got accepted into flight school. But regardless, I drove his dad back to Jacksonville where we live. And we had a kind of a conversation about following your dreams, about taking risks. People have a tendency to settle, right? People have a tendency to stay on that Tatooine farm and help their uncle. Oh, Venom Jew Bear, thank you so much for the super chat donation and the channel support, man. That silent support, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. Channel survives because of you. Venom Jew Bear, thanks for being a kick-ass mod along with the other kick-ass mods. But I thank you so much, man. But, I don't want to tell you to do one thing or the other, but I will tell you that you're young, man, and so am I. I'm 31, right? That's not old. There's still a lot of time left. You're going to be 23. You don't want to be 31 saying what you're saying right now. You don't want to be 31 looking back at the 22-year-old self and saying, why didn't I take that chance? Why didn't I do that? You don't want to still be doing, yes, good money, right? That's a good thing. That's security. That's great for a family that you want to start eventually, right? But at the same time, you don't want to be 31 looking back and regretting not taking a risk. You don't want to be 40. You don't want to be 50. You don't want to be 80 going, God, things could have been different if I would have just taken a chance. And success is not guaranteed. It's not. The odds, truthfully, the odds are not in your favor, right? That's just realistic. But you'll never know unless you take a chance. So, I don't want to be the one that pushes you in any direction. You got to find that for yourself. But I firmly believe that if you have an idea and you're wishy-washy on what to do, security versus taking a chance, you can kind of do both. You can start a YouTube channel. You can try out some animation. You can do some drawing. You can do some computer modeling. You can upload it on YouTube. You can start a demo reel. You don't really need to go to school for this stuff, right? You can learn it. You can try to get a demo reel going. Try to watch some instructional videos. See what other people did. Watch some like TED Talks on inspiration. I don't know. But yeah, what I would do, keep doing what you're doing. But on the side, start drawing. Start animating. Start doing stuff that interests you. And just like with HelloGreedo, I did other stuff for a while. And now HelloGreedo's grown to the point where I'm secure and kind of letting my side stuff drop down a little bit because I got people supporting me, and the channel's grown so much. So if you start something on the side right now, you never know where it'll go in the future. So take that risk, man. Take it. Obviously, don't neglect your job that pays well and stuff like that. But I fear that a lot of people, like Luke Skywalker on Tatooine, right? Staring out at the twin suns, debating whether he wants to stay and tend to the farm for the rest of his life and continue with this path, or go out on this grand adventure, try something different, become someone else, have new experiences. But yeah, I hope I answered that question. That goes to anybody watching this. Pursue what you're interested in. I've had arguments with people in the past that, a lot of people give millennials shit. I think it's dumb as fuck, giving millennials shit. Most people watching this are probably millennials. Technically, mathematically, I'm a millennial as well. Everyone that I know, from friends, family, they have side gigs, right? They have their main job, but then they have pursuits of passion that they also make money on the side. I have friends that make pens, and they sell these enamel pens on Etsy. I have friends that they work full-time, and they also make tables, and they sell tables locally. I have friends that make candles locally, and they also have full-time jobs, but they make candles and sell candles online and at farmers markets and stuff. Everyone that I know has a separate gig. So I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but people give millennials so much shit. But I don't think there has ever been a generation that pursues their dreams more. I don't think there's ever been a generation where entrepreneurship, that a generation that has more entrepreneurs than the millennial generation. So the idea that millennials are lazy is fucking dumb. It's the previous generation talking shit about the current generation. And that is a tale as old as time. And I don't get it. I don't get why older generations, forever and ever, in the history of humankind, have always shat on maybe it's like a fear of death thing, who knows. But they've always shat on what the current generation's doing, pursuing their dreams and all that stuff. But long story short, Grand Admiral Irvin, go for it. Go for it. Chart that path. Do your thing. That was a long answer, but kind of passionate about that, right? Al Mary. Next question comes from Al Mary. What it do, Greedo? I don't think I've ever said what it do in my life, so thank you. How would you get friends who have never seen Star Wars and try to convince them that it's totally worth checking out? My buddies are a bunch of surfer dudes who have never seen any Star Wars movie. I can't seem to sell them on watching the original trilogy or anything Star Wars related. The dudes don't know what they're missing. Thank you as always for the great content, and as my homies say down at the beach, keep shredding the gnar. Nice, man. Let me take a sip of water real quick. You know, honestly, if they don't want to watch it, that's cool, right? You can't really push somebody to like something that they probably aren't really into. If they're not really into sci-fi and fantasy and all that kind of stuff, they're probably not going to dig it that much. And it's very, it's like, we like what we liked really from our childhood, right? It's kind of interesting when you look at human beings. What they're into is usually a product of their upbringing or what they were into when they were kids or in very informative years of their life. So if you try to sit them down right now to watch Star Wars, they might not see the they probably won't see what you see, you know. But maybe suggest to you guys can just hang out and have a movie night. Everybody picks a movie, and you pick A New Hope, and you show them A New Hope, and then you guys can have a chit chat about it. But no, you don't want to be too pushy, right? You don't want to try to convince them to watch it. Maybe trick them to watch it. I don't know. But you don't want to be that person who's constantly trying to convince somebody to go to church. I don't want to go to church, man. Stop trying to convince me to go to church. You don't want to be the guy who's, come on, man, watch Star Wars. Come on, man, watch Star Wars. Come on, man, watch Star Wars. You don't want to be that guy. But I don't know. Maybe just say, let's pick a couple movies to watch tonight. And we can hang out and drink some beers and maybe go surfing in the morning. After a long day of surfing, maybe you guys want to sit down and watch some movies. That's what I say. I don't know. But don't try to push it on anybody. They got to find the light, right? It reminds me of The Path. We're on season 2 of The Path. I never heard of it until like a week ago. Me and my wife are watching The Path. It's on Hulu. It has Aaron Paul, Michelle Monaghan. Really good show. Anyway, Justin Woods. Hey Greedo, just curious, how much do you make from streaming? Like average payout per stream. Not even asking so I can get into it, just curious. It depends. It depends, man. And I don't want to divulge too much information, but streaming definitely helps. It helps me kind of justify spending more time on HelloGreedo because people are kind enough to support. They dig the channel. They're kind enough to support the channel. How much do I make from streaming? It varies so much, man. It varies so much. I mean, 1 hour, like if I stream for an hour, I might make $15, you know, if nobody's super chatting, which is fine. I'm gonna stream regardless, you know. I get it. It's fun for me. It's more interactive. I get to communicate with people that watch my videos, and then some hours I might make like $100. So it's just kind of like it's a fun thing for me to do. And it's to me, in my mind, and maybe this is just the way that I can visualize it in the real world on the street. It's like a street performer, right? Everybody's watching the street performer playing the guitar. Maybe he's spray painted himself with silver and he's pretending to be a robot. You might have 100 people around the street performer watching. And the street performer has a tip jar next to his feet. And maybe 1 out of 100 of those people will come up and put $1 into the tip jar. That's kind of how I see streaming. Which is kind of a cool way to visualize it for the real world, you know. But yeah, it varies so much, man. It varies so much. But it definitely helps. It definitely helps me focus more on HelloGreedo. And over the past like 5 months or so, I've been whittling down the non-HelloGreedo freelance stuff that I do, and kind of putting Greedo at like 100%, 90%. You know, kind of pushing down all the other stuff, prioritizing more time at home, and kind of preparing for the baby, you know. But yeah, cool question, Justin. I'm sure a lot of people are curious about that, you know. Venom Jewbear, Mr. Mod Venom Jewbear, asks, I was going to do a silly question, but I changed my mind, and instead I'm going to do a serious one for once. So here, I almost read that Why did I almost read I have an immune disorder? I have an immense attachment and love for your Discord, and I guess I must ask you, how do you feel about it yourself and why? I apologize if my grammar is not exactly great. Nope, grammar's perfect, dude. What I love the Discord server. I know I'm not very active in there. I know I was way more active at the beginning of it, but my goal with the Discord server was always to build a community in a program where people can communicate with one another. And I've seen friendships blossom from the Discord channel. I've seen cool conversations. I've seen hilarious, stupid-ass memes. I've gone into the voice chat and shot the shit with random people, and it's so cool to just kind of hang out for a couple minutes and shoot the shit with you guys. I see it as like a little community where people can go. They don't necessarily have to talk about Star Wars. They can be idiots. They can have intelligent conversations. It's just, it blows my mind whenever I go on Discord and I see, I don't know what the member count's up to. It might be like close to 3,000 now. Maybe 2,500. I don't really know. I haven't done that command in a long time. But it blows me away every time I go on there and I just see people constantly posting, getting into arguments, having conversations, playing games. I love it for that. I love it. It's because it's a community that has blossomed from the HelloGreedo community. You know? I don't even want to say my community. It's like y'all's community. Y'all's? I never say y'all's. Why did I say y'all's? Your community. Y'all's? Yeah, if you guys are watching this and you're not a supporter, you can still go to the Discord server. Nine Nut just posted it down there. Click it and, you know, start hanging out. But yeah, I just love the fact that it is a community of HelloGreedo followers, and for the most part, people get along. You know, occasionally you'll get a shithead in there that doesn't understand the vibe of the HelloGreedo YouTube channel, and my mods get rid of them pretty quickly. 2,378 members strong. Badass. Badass. Never expected to get that big. That's too cool, man. Ian Reichs asks, so when do you think we'll see interesting characters in a Star Wars film again? So when do you think we'll see interesting characters? I think we have them right now, Ian. I think Kylo Ren is one of the more interesting characters we've ever had in Star Wars film. He's conflicted. Same goes with Rey. They're two people who don't know who they are. They don't know basically what they want in life. They don't know the path that they should be going down. I think we have interesting characters right now. I think Rey and Kylo are really interesting characters. Kylo might be one of my favorite characters in Star Wars ever. He's conflicted. He's not tempted by the dark. I guess in a way you could say he is. But he's tempted by the light. He feels the pull of the light. It's a twist, right? So no, I think we have really interesting characters right now. I hope the Han Solo movie proves that we can have interesting characters in a single film. You know, like Rogue One, I didn't really get a kick out of any of the characters other than Chirrut Imwe, and he was barely in the movie. But no, I think we'll have interesting characters moving forward. I mean, like I said, Kylo and Rey, I think they're really interesting characters. I know this like mob mentality of Mary Sudom people are just slinging out on Twitter. I find it goofy. And it's like one of those things where people parrot it out like a parrot, and they just repeat what other people say. And I don't even think people understand what they're saying. You know what I mean? But no, Ian, I think we got interesting characters right now. And I'm pumped to see what happens with Kylo and Rey. I hope they do some interesting stuff with them, you know. Jack Evans asks, do you plan to review the Lord of the Rings trilogy for Movie Monday? Not all the movies for one Movie Monday. Oh, I would say eventually, yeah. Eventually I'll probably do that. Actually, I have a list of Movie Monday movies that I want to talk about. And to tell you the truth, I have not written Lord of the Rings down on that list. It needs to be added. I'll add that after this stream. But Jack, yeah, eventually I'll do that. There's a huge list of movies that I want to talk about, and there's a huge list of movies that people constantly ask me to to review on Movie Mondays. Um, and right now, I kind of have a habit of either talking about movies that I love from the past because I'm so familiar with them that it's easy for me to just put my thoughts into words, you know. And if I watch a new movie in the theater, I'll usually do a Movie Monday review about that. That's kind of how it is in my brain right now, just because it's topical, you know. But yeah, Jack. Eventually, I'll probably do Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I would say yes. Eventually, I will. Paul Robinson, my man, Paul Robinson. Let me take a sip of water. Good to see you, man. Dolthier, Ender's Game on the list. I've actually never seen Ender's Game, so maybe I'll have to watch that and do a little Movie Monday on it. But Paul Robinson, Last Jedi up for an Oscar. What do you think about that? Hope all is good with you. Is it up for an Oscar? Let's see. What Oscar? Some kind of visual thing? So Star Wars The Last Jedi receives 4 Oscar. You can tell how much I pay attention to this, right? Star Wars The Last Jedi receives 4 Oscar nominations. Original score, John Williams. Visual effects, sound editing, and sound mixing. Those make sense. That makes sense. That's cool. That's not like really a benchmark or anything that I really care about, to tell you the truth. Like, award shows have always been very goofy to me. Kind of a patting themselves on the back kind of thing. I mean, I get it. It's important. You recognize greatness. But I've never really paid attention to Oscar stuff. I'm always intrigued with Oscar films that are nominated. Because, you know, generally I'll get something out of them. For the most part, they're good. But when it comes to like really caring if a movie that I like gets nominated for an Oscar, I don't have that kind of level of attachment. Sometimes I'll go on Twitter and I'll see people, like when the Oscar nominees are announced, people are angry that such and such didn't get nominated or so and so didn't get nominated. I'm like, what? Why does that matter to you, right? You just like the movie, right? Does it need to get an award? I don't know. But good to see you, Paul. Max Ago. What's your favorite movie besides Star Wars? I've always gravitated towards science fiction. And not really, yes, science fiction, but more historic films about scientific endeavors. So like The Right Stuff, I've talked about it for years and years and years on this channel. If you guys still haven't seen The Right Stuff after me talking about The Right Stuff for like 6 years, what are you doing? Go watch The Right Stuff. It's amazing. But yeah, The Right Stuff is probably, it might be in my top 3 movies. Apollo 13 is one of my all-time favorite movies as well. Yeah, I have a top 10 favorite movies list, and it always changes. So, whatever. I don't really do a ranking system. But The Right Stuff and Apollo 13 are 2 of my favorite movies of all time. And they're interchangeable, you know. Apollo 13, directed by Ron Howard, is such a good look at the Apollo 13 event. He's such a good character director. He brings Jim Lovell, Swigert, and I can picture him. Oh my God, Borman. He brings those characters to life. They're not even characters; they're real people, right? But yeah. Those 2 movies are probably my all-time favorite movies, apart from Star Wars. The movie critic dude, Mr. Orlando, Mr. Full Sail. What is your thought on the recent announcement that Disney is planning to bring a lot more characters from Legends into canon? Will we see them in the movies and shows? Which favorite Legends character would you like to see them bring back? No, that's cool. I'm kind of torn. I'm about to sneeze. Wow. All One more. Maybe. There we go. Maybe a third one. Maybe. Movie critic, dude. I think that's cool. My thing is, though, I don't want predictability moving forward in Star Wars. I don't want characters that we're really already familiar with. I want new characters. And granted, most of the movie-going audience for Star Wars films aren't familiar with the Legend stuff. They're just not. It's a very specific Star Wars fandom that is familiar with a lot of the EU, a lot of the Legend stuff. That's true. Absolutely true. The vast majority of the movie-going audience probably has never read a Star Wars book, right? But no, I think it's cool if they feel like they need to bring them back. If there's more stories to tell, I would dig it. But like I said, I kind of want new characters, new stories. But if that's what they want to do, hey, why not? Why not? You know? And which favorite Legends character would you like to see them bring back? I don't know. I've kind of always liked Dash Rendar just because I'm a sucker for Shadows of the Empire. So that would probably be my answer, to tell you the truth. Hoth Han. I know Hoth Han. YouTube channel. Hey, Greedo. I hope you and your family, both current and soon to be, are doing well. Oh, let me scroll up a little bit more. I've got two questions. I've got two questions I love to ask you this month. And without any delay, here they are. I'm loving the new non-Star Wars content you've created. New videos like the Grand Circle and Movie Mondays show that you've got more to offer than just Star Wars. In fact, my favorite HelloGreedo video is A Stormtrooper's Guide to the Galaxy. It's got that Sagan feel to it. Yeah, for sure. If you guys don't know what he's talking about, that's probably one of my favorite videos I've ever made too. Sorry guys, I just feel like I'm getting a cold now. Weird. It's called A Stormtrooper's Guide to the Galaxy. No, A Stormtrooper's Guide to the Universe is what it's called, right? Hawthorne. It's called A Stormtrooper's Guide to the Universe. Just Google that, you'll find it. That's one of my favorite videos I've ever made. Because I have a passion for astronomy. I was crying yesterday when the Falcon Heavy launched, the SpaceX Falcon Heavy. Not even joking. I was sitting in my office watching two streams. When those boosters touched down and they landed, oh my God. I just felt connected to the human race. I was like, holy shit. I say we've done it, but I didn't do it, right? But I'm a part of the human race, so yeah, we can all take credit. I was wondering what your experiences were. Oh, wait. This is a really long way of asking this. Do you ever see the channel growing beyond Star Wars content? If you do, what kind of topics would you like to cover? See, I've never actually felt that I need to just do Star Wars stuff on this channel. I've never felt that I need to bottleneck myself into just doing Star Wars content. That's why, like, I created Movie Monday. I was like, yeah, I feel like doing that. That's why I made that A Stormtrooper's Guide to the Universe. Yeah, I feel like doing that. That's why I started Star Wars Science, because I like science. I like astronomy and stuff like that. Yeah, I feel like doing that. I've never felt like I need to hamstring myself into just doing Star Wars. But, you know, it's one of my biggest passions. But if I was going to branch out even further, I would probably do some astronomy, space exploration stuff. And with those non-Star Wars stuff, I know that the views won't be that great. That doesn't bother me at all. You got to make the content you want to make, right? Han goes on to say, I recently started a YouTube channel. Hey, you can see it by going here. I was wondering what your experiences were like in the early days of HG. What steps did you take to help grow your channel? I'm looking for any advice on this subject. My current goal is to get 100 views on all my videos. As always, thanks for your time, and be well. In the early days of HG, I had no expectations. I had no plans. I still don't. I just make stuff. In the early days, I made my first video not knowing what the hell to do, not knowing what, you know, how to even edit or anything, and I've just kind of taught myself. I just thought it would be a one and done. make that first video. Cool. I made something that I wanted to make. Let's move on. And then it started getting a following, and people wanted more videos. I wonder if there's a way to look at your first ever YouTube comment. I wonder if you guys could find that for me. I don't know how to look that up. But advice, honestly, it sounds cliche, but it's true. Everyone will tell you this. Just make stuff. That's it. And do it in a unique way. That's it. And then the followers will organically grow, like a rock falling down the hill gathering moss. That's how it works. There's no secret formula. You just got to keep, sorry guys, you just got to keep pumping out content that you are happy with. That's all that matters, to tell you the truth. But congrats on getting started. You've taken the first step into a larger world. That's what I'll say. And keep it up, man. Yeah, don't like you said, your goal is to get 100 views on all of my videos. That's a good goal. Don't let that consume your mind. Just make videos. If they don't, I mean, how many times have I made a video going, oh, this is going to be huge for the channel. This is going to get 100,000 views, and it barely gets any views. You can't let that get you down. And that can't be your main focus. You just got to keep making stuff, you know. Admiral Crust. Hi, Greedo. Just wanted to ask if you know anything about this cool passion project called Project 4K77. I'm assuming Project 4K77 is 4K resolution for A New Hope, 1977. Basically, a bunch of awesome and passionate Star Wars fans got a hold of an original theatrical 35mm film print of Star Wars, and they're doing their best to scan it, restore it, color correct it, and export it in 4K. Haha, I was right. As far as their progress goes, they're really close to finishing it. So I was wondering if you could do a video about it once the project is complete. I've seen some clips of their work in 4K, and it's beautiful. Take it easy, man, and drink that Thalasiren milk like a Skywalker. I've actually never heard of this. Let me Google it so I remember. I've never heard of this. Latest update on their website, January 29th, 2018. Like you, we had really hoped that today would be the day, but so far, dedicated beta testers have come up with a list of over 500 things to look at. That's awesome. That's awesome. Right now, the 4K is a little over 12 gigs, I guess. If this is the full film, it looks like it is a full film. I'm intrigued now, Admiral Crust. I've never heard of this. Yeah, once this is complete, I'll 100% do a video on it. Yeah, it's right up my alley. I love that, like you said, passion project. I love this kind of stuff. Fan films, even like Harmy's Despecialized editions. This is awesome. This is awesome. Sorry, guys, I'm reading a little bit. Yeah, if you guys, it looks like the StarWarsTrilogy.com. Oh wait, if you just Google Project 4K77, you'll find some stuff. There's some clips and stuff. I'll wait to watch them until after the stream. But no, thanks for bringing this to my attention, man. This is neat. I sent a picture of your very first comment on Discord. Nice. I'll check that out. I'll check that out. That's cool. All right, Cap Coldblood. He likes to do these long. You know what? Let me take a bathroom break real quick. Let me scroll up to Cap Coldblood. Yeah, I'm gonna give me like 3 minutes. I'm gonna go to the bathroom, fill up my water. In the meantime, enjoy the song. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. You might want to turn down your speakers right now. Okay, I'm gonna give you a countdown from 5. I'll be back in like 3 minutes. All right, 3, or wait, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn down them speakers. my water? Sorry, that was probably loud, right? I need to temper my voice sometimes. All right, water's filled up, bladder's emptied. I'm back in action. Thanks for sending that to me, Mr. Ollie. That's too cool. My first ever YouTube comment was on 28th of September 2011. It was from Chris Lemire, and it says, "One day he will, but hopefully one day we'll all live in a world where the original trilogy is the only thing anyone knows." Interesting. He could have never predicted this world, huh? All right, back in action. Next question comes from Cap Coldblood. Here we go again. Today on Star Wars Philosophies, we'll be looking at Luke's decision to destroy the Death Star. Many can agree that building the DS-1 battle station, Death Star 1 battle station was a mistake in several ways. It eventually led to the defeat of the Galactic Empire, but was it right for Luke to destroy it? The Death Star housed over 2.5 million people and about 266,000 stormtroopers, elite stormtroopers that took years of training to create. The battle station also cost $852 quadrillion to build in Earth money, and many taxpayers across the galaxy helped to pay for it unwillingly, although unknowingly. There you go. Not to mention the large amount of Imperial military officials that were there, including Grand Moff Wilf Tarkin, High General Cassio. I don't know how to pronounce any of these. A veteran of the Clone Wars, destroying this battle station threw the galaxy into a depression never seen before in history. Not to mention killing many government and military leaders. The entire government began to collapse, and after the Battle of Endor, a weak and corrupt republic was formed, and they could not contain the First Order and were subsequently destroyed. My question is this: wouldn't it be better for a few hundred rebels to die to establish peace than billions more dying just so people can be free? I guess that's how you look at the world. I guess oppression on that large of a scale. Imagine one like government entity having just the grip around the neck of an entire galaxy, billions of star systems, an untold number of planets, an untold number of alien species. Something like that, I don't have a problem with it being destroyed, no matter the cost. I mean, for the stormtroopers, volunteers, most of them were volunteers, right? They're buying into the system. I guess in the real world, it's a little different, but in terms of a movie, right? I don't know. So people can be quote-unquote free, as you say. Isn't that one of the most important things? Isn't that one of the most important things for any life form in the Star Wars universe, to have a sense of freedom? The Galactic Empire, when it came to alien species, they weren't exactly friendly. Isn't it important to fight for a cause like that? Do you want to live in a world where everybody is pushed around by jackbooted thugs? That's not a galaxy I would want to live in. If I were in the Star Wars galaxy, I would want to fight against that. It's not a numbers thing. It's an institutional thing. Do you really want to live in a galaxy where your leaders in the system is built on oppression? I think a group of rebels fighting against that is a worthy cause. I do. And maybe we'll just see eye to eye or differently in terms of the philosophy of that. But I don't know. Individual freedom is one of the most important things that I think a human being, or in the case of Star Wars, any alien species. Why do I want to say species? Species. Can have. So no, I'm fine. I'm fine with the idea of destroying an entire battle station that represents this great oppressor. You know, fight against the Blitzkrieg. Fight against the jackbooted thugs. That's what I think. Oliard, hello there. You do a lot of different content for your channel. Oh, Josh Warrior, thanks for answering my question. I get what you mean. Make content I am happy with and proud of. That's what it's all about, man. And, gathering a following is hard. It is hard, and it takes a lot of time. It's very rare that a formula or a channel just blows up, It takes time. 6.5 years later, I'm still here. Got over 200,000 subscribers, and it's still growing. It takes time. Oliard, hello there. You do a lot of different content for your channel, from comedy skits to news videos. What type of video do you enjoy doing the most? Sorry, guys. All of a sudden, I feel like I'm just coming down with something. Don't know why. Ollie, my favorite types of videos that I do are the ones that I wake up in the morning and just have this idea. I just have like an idea, as dumb as it is in my head, and I don't even worry how these ideas are received, right? If I have a really stupid idea where I want to make fun of reaction channels and reaction videos, and my idea is to sit on the shitter. You hear that? My phone's ringing. Suspected scam caller. I get so many of those. No, if I wake up in the morning and decide that I want to do a video where I'm literally sitting on the shitter for 2 minutes and I don't say a word until the very end, I want to make it. Those are my favorite types of videos, no matter what they are. If I just have a really dumb idea in the morning, I make it. It's that just click, that click of inspiration in the morning with my sip of coffee, and I just feel it. I get it. Sometimes if I have like a Star Wars news video or something that I planned on making that day, but I have an idea that gets me a little more excited, that I know will not get me nearly the amount of views that I would get with a news video or some kind of like Millennium Falcon video or whatever, I'll push that aside, sacrifice the views, sacrifice the ad revenue to make something that I really want to make. So long story short, the silly videos, the comedic skits, as you put it, are probably my favorite things to make. Aside from that, I really like making videos like a Stormtrooper's Guide to the Universe. And I know I haven't really done many of those. I guess maybe Star Wars Science, you could consider that. I haven't made those in a long time. But yeah, really the stupid stuff is my favorite stuff to make. And a lot of the times it's people's favorite stuff to watch, which is cool. 6-foot piss radius. Hey Greedo, thanks for taking the time. Anytime. You mentioned before that you used to play the guitar when you were younger. What kind of guitar did you have? How would you say you were at it? And what kind of music did you like to play? Also, did you find it to be a good chick magnet? Finally, did you play the guitar in any of your videos? I suspect you did in the Dark Side Coffee video. Actually, no. Did I play that? No, I don't think I did. No, I don't think I did. No, I didn't. I know for a fact I did not. But I started playing when I was like 11 or 12, I think. I was never really good. I liked finger picking, like kind of classical guitar finger picking, that kind of stuff. I really never got into harmonics or any kind of like shredding. For whatever reason, that was never what I was really into. And for the most part, I found myself playing rhythm. I wasn't very strict with practicing or learning new stuff. It's like a lot of things in my brain. I find a method that works, and when a new method or something new comes along that I need to learn, I have a hard time adjusting. So playing the guitar was very similar to that. I had rhythm guitar down. I had finger picking down in a classical sense, a little twang, a little kind of like, yeah, I don't know. And then when something new came around, I had a hard time learning how to play it just because my brain doesn't really operate on that level. I don't know how to explain it. The kind of music that I played, me and my buddies were in a band. We went into a recording studio a couple times, and the guy that recorded us he said we sounded like not Coheed and Cambria, At the Drive-In. He said we sounded like At the Drive-In, which is a huge compliment. I'm a At the Drive-In fan. If you guys have never heard of At the Drive-In, just Google At the Drive-In One Armed Scissor. That's a really good song, probably their most popular song. But that's the kind of stuff we played. We played some Taking Back Sunday too. A lot of our songs had like a dual microphone thing. I would sing, my singer would sing. It was fun. A chick magnet? No, I never did. Like, I mean, no. Whether I was playing the guitar or not didn't matter. I didn't do too bad though. I was good. I was good. But no, I've always wanted to, because I primarily played the acoustic. Well, no, I take that back. When I was with the band, I played on a Gibson, a really nice Gibson. I can't remember what it was called. It's actually at my parents' house. But I always liked playing the acoustic guitar more. For whatever reason, I don't know. And I've been wanting to get a new set of strings for it and maybe utilizing it for the channel, writing some goofy, silly Star Wars parody songs and stuff like that. I think that would be fun, you know. Venom Jewbear, can you answer this question instead of my first one, please? Oh, too late. How does it feel being a meme in your community? Also, can you say the robot Reddit, but I'm going to read it too. I actually made a shirt, the robot Reddit, but I'm going to read it too. I don't know why I started saying that. How does it feel to become a meme in your community? It's cool. It's cool that some, like, you know, I've always said HelloGreedo is like a symbol of Star Wars fandom. It's like, sometimes it doesn't even feel real, right? Maybe it would feel real if my face was on the channel. Maybe I would feel like I am a part of this thing. But for whatever reason, when I make videos and stuff, it feels like a different person doing it. It's hard to explain. Because of the anonymity of it, because of the helmet, it's more of a symbol. And it's cool that people find ownership in that symbol. You know what I mean? People find, it's like ownership in Star Wars, right? We all kind of feel like we own it a little bit. We all like to, there's fan fiction, there's fan films, there's goofy skits that like I make and other people make. There's parody, there's just so many things. There's t-shirts that people make, and go on Etsy, you can find dolls that people are making. People feel like they own this. It's a part of them. So it's cool for like the HelloGreedo symbol to become a meme in the community. It's neat. Yeah, I always enjoy seeing that kind of stuff, just because, I don't know, because it feels like people are taking ownership of it in a way, if that makes sense, you know? It's cool. It's a weird feeling for sure. Owen Murator. I apologize, Owen. Hey, Greedo, how are you? I'm doing splendid. My question is about your coming baby. Do you know the sex? When are they due? Good luck with everything, and I hope it all goes well. Best wishes. Well, I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that, Owen. Yeah, we're having a little girl. A little girl. I'm excited. I'm excited. And my wife is actually due like mid-April. So yeah, we've had all the genetic testing done. Everything's clean. Everything's good to go. No problems as of yet. And yeah, when they do the genetic testing, when they do the genetic testing, they also, like, they test for diseases and stuff, but they also tell you the sex of the baby, which is cool. But yeah, Owen, I'm super excited, super nervous, but way more excited. Just because, like, there's a lot of responsibility, you know? But I'm legitimately excited to, you know, all you can ask for is to raise a human being that has empathy, that has compassion, that's curious about the world. They want to know how things work. That's all you can ask for, really. My goal is to just raise somebody that's nice and curious about the world. It is not afraid to pursue their dreams. That's one thing that I want to instill in my daughter, is don't settle. Always push what you want to do. And that's another thing. I'll never pressure my daughter into doing anything that I think she should do, right? It's like those football dads. You're going to play football. What? That's kind of that's really silly to me. It's like they're projecting their self-disappointment onto their kid. I wasn't a good football star. You're going to be a good football star. I didn't become a director. You're going to become a director. Nah, that's silly. But yeah, Owen kind of went on a little off the beaten path there. But yeah, I'm pumped, man. Pumped. It's going to be weird. You know, life is no longer about me and my wife. Life is solely about my daughter now. And that's the most important thing. Kenneth Camille, in Star Wars Episode 9, do you think we might find out Luke Skywalker is actually alive? Maybe he transported to another location. The 9 episodic movies were always said to be the story of the Skywalker, and there are no Skywalkers left. I mean, Kylo Ren still has a Skywalker blood in him, right? So technically, I guess there kind of is another Skywalker left, not just by name. I guess there's still a Skywalker left, right? No, I don't think we're going to see that Luke Skywalker is actually alive. I think that would be kind of silly. Because the send-off in Episode 8 was, to me, so beautiful. So beautiful, this projection. He was able to physically project himself. He struggled, and then he disappeared like Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda. Just became one with the Force. I thought it was so beautiful. So if he came back, maybe he would come back as like a Force ghost. Maybe he would just speak to Rey, kind of like Obi-Wan did in A New Hope to Luke Skywalker. You know, use the Force, Luke. Let go, Luke. Maybe he'll do that kind of stuff for Rey. I don't know, but no, I don't think Luke's going to be coming back. And as far as the story of the Skywalkers go, Kylo Ren's got that Skywalker blood. So the tale is not done. You know. Star Wars Media. Is it possible to see anything in the world? Let me pull this up. Is it possible to see anything in the world objectively? In other words, is your red the same as my red? When we say the sky is blue, does that blue look identical to us? Well, is it possible to see the world objectively in terms of art? Maybe not. I mean, objectively we can say yes, that is a straight line. You can measure it, and you can say yes, that is a straight line. But anything past that measurement and stuff like that gets a little subjective, right? There's a reason that YouTube critics are around. Everything is subjective. There's a reason that there's a numbering system on Rotten Tomatoes, because it's basically a culmination of all these subjective thoughts put into a percentage. So art, I don't think you can say that it's subjectively. You can judge it objectively. It's all subjective. But I mean, you can judge things objectively in terms of statistics. And yes, you can bend statistics, but there is a discoverable statistic for everything that is objectively sound, right? Scientifically, you can be objective about something. We can measure the distance from the moon and back. So certain things, yes, I would say you can be objective. There's measurable things, and then there's subjective things that are opinion driven, you know. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of, there's a two-sided argument there. Things that you can measure, I suppose, objective facts that they're, you know, maybe the delivery method can be subjective. Maybe people can bend the facts a little bit. But that doesn't take away from the fact that a fact, especially like a scientific fact or scientific theory, is an objective thing. It's a yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of rambling there. Interesting question, though. Jack H. Ray's lightsaber predictions for Episode 9. Also, what spinoff do you think they will make next besides the Rian Johnson trilogy? I don't have any wild Rey lightsaber predictions. I don't think she's gonna make like a double-sided or 2 lightsabers or anything like that out of the broken lightsaber. I think she's probably just gonna put it back together like it was. That's just a guess, though, obviously. But no, I can't imagine her. Yeah, I think she's just gonna fix it. I think she's just gonna fix it, and it's gonna be the same lightsaber. Or maybe she makes her own. I really don't know. But I don't think we'll see any kind of like double-sided or like dual wielding. I don't think we'll see anything like that. Maybe, you know, I could be wrong. But yeah. Also, what spinoff do you think they will make next besides the Rian Johnson trilogy? Probably the Obi-Wan movie. I'd be surprised if that wasn't announced within the next year. Um, I mean, I'm saying what I think will happen. That doesn't necessarily mean that I want it to happen, right? Yeah, I think we'll get an Obi-Wan spinoff. Maybe. I really don't know. I can't really think of any. I don't think they're going to do a Boba Fett spinoff. I don't think it's necessary. And I think they think it's not necessary too. I could be wrong. But no, at the moment, the only thing I can really think of that they will be doing, and I don't even, it's not officially announced or anything, but I think an Obi-Wan spinoff will be in the works soon. Orson Krennic. Next question comes from Orson Krennic. HG, love the channel. Thank you so much for the time and love you put into your videos and for trolling the weak-minded. Was wondering if you like/visit the subreddit prequel memes, and if so, what's your favorite meme? Oh, what your favorite meme is. I was hesitant at first of using Reddit, but now the page is a daily must check for me, like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Anyways, I just wanted to get the word out there to you and your Star Wars hungry subs. Thanks and congrats to you and your wife, Jags2018. Hashtag goddamn right. Goddamn right, Jags2018. No, I've never been on prequel memes. Let me pull that up. I'm looking at it for the first time right now. No, and I'd be surprised if I haven't seen some of these. Some of the Star Wars Instagram accounts have a tendency to pull stuff that other people made, put it on their Instagram account, and I've had this happen to me in the past. People will take my video clips, put it on their Instagram account, and put their Instagram account's watermark on my video that they then post, and never give credit where credit's due. They'll never say, this comes from HelloGreedo. They'll just post it themselves with their own watermark on it. Stupid. I hate that shit, man. Whenever I see something like posted on some random, sometimes they're really big accounts too, but I'll see it and I'll be like, you didn't make that. You don't make anything. You don't make anything. You just take other people's stuff and post it for your own. It's so silly. But no, Orson Krennic, I've never been on prequel memes. This is actually the first time I've ever looked at it. But I'll check it out. I haven't really used Reddit that much. I have an account. Occasionally I'll look at the Battlefront 2 subreddit. I actually have my own Reddit page, but I've never really done anything with it. For whatever reason, Reddit hasn't really stood out to me as anything that I'd want to spend a lot of time on. Maybe I should. Maybe I'm just missing the point. Maybe I need to check it out more. But Orson Krennic. Yeah, if everybody's interested, he's talking about the subreddit prequel memes, and it seems pretty damn big. 460,750 users. Almost 500,000 users. That's pretty big. And the last question comes from Tony Zotti. Starisma Tone. I don't know if he's still here. He might be. Hey HG, given the very fresh announcement of a new series of Star Wars films helmed by Game of Thrones show creators David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, and the mythological and medieval nature of that show, do you think we are a step closer to finally getting a series of Star Wars films based on Knights of the Old Republic or of that era? If so, is this unheralded and sudden announcement by Kathleen Kennedy moved by her to appease and appeal to the Star Wars part of the to the part of the Star Wars fan base that feels disenfranchised with the saga under Disney's ownership, especially following the I am indeed nice, especially following the backlash to The Last Jedi. Hope all is well with you, mommy and baby. April can't come around quick enough for both of us. Warmest regards and best wishes as always. Right back at you, man. Right back at you. Let me take a sip of water. First of all, I am excited for that new series of films. It's hard for me to get excited at the moment because it's so far away. These announcements are neat, but it's kind of like it's an announcement that's maybe 5 years away from coming to completion. Who knows though. But Do I think it's going to be Knights of the Old Republic or that era? It's hard to say. I think at some point, I mean, look, we have this new Game of Thrones writers series of films. Is it a trilogy? Have they said it's going to be a trilogy? I really don't know. You have that series of films, and then you have the Rian Johnson trilogy. One of those must take place before the prequels, right? One of those must take place in the Knights of the Old Republic, maybe era, those years. They kind of have to, I think. You can't really do anything after Episode 9, because why not just make another trilogy that continues that saga? I mean, I guess they could. They might. Who knows? But there's so much room to explore the Star Wars galaxy. There's so much room to explore the timeline of Star Wars. And I think they're going to have to, at some point, go way back in time to that era. Is this the series that's going to do it? Maybe. I mean, I don't know if the medieval and mythological nature of Game of Thrones, like you said, is really that much of a hint. Maybe we're reading a little too deep into what we're projecting what we know they've done in Game of Thrones onto the series of films that they're going to be working on in Star Wars. Maybe we're reading a little too deep into that, but it could be. It could be. I think it would be a lot of fun for them to go way back in time, like I've always said, to the beginning of the Force, to where people discovered this energy, you know. But I don't know. Kathleen Kennedy to move her appease. I don't, like you said, I don't see it as appeasement. Announcing a series of films, I don't see it as appeasement. I'm sure they've been talking to these guys maybe for years. They've probably had this plan for years, and we're just now hearing about it. Or maybe it was I don't know, maybe it was a decision made yesterday. But I don't think anything is going to be appeasing the fans. As we've seen with The Last Jedi, that seems to be something that they're not too really interested in doing, which I think is a good thing. You don't want to be beholden to your fans. People go, what the hell are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about, Greedo? I don't think any series of films, any piece of art should ever cater to what fans want. I've said that since day one of this channel. I think creators should have absolute freedom what they want to do. And if Disney has the balls to give absolute freedom to creators, that is a huge thumbs up to Disney for taking that risk. That's what I like about Disney owning it. I was very apprehensive at first, even apprehensive after The Force Awakens, because obviously it's a lot like A New Hope. It takes a lot of it doesn't really take any risks. It's a very just kind of like fan-friendly film. But then The Last Jedi comes around, and they just throw a wrench into the engine, and all bets are off. So I appreciate what they're doing like that, you know. But thanks for the question, Tony. I hope I answered it correctly. Not correctly. There's no correct answer to this shit. I hope I answered it fully. But Nine Nut posted a final question after mine. Oh, Ollie, I see you there. Let me run to Patreon real quick. Dun, 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 dun. What? I just started singing the Cantina theme. Dun, 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 but then I thought of the Beyonce song. Dun, 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 dun. Doesn't that kind of sound similar? Maybe I'm just dumb. Oliard, the last question comes from Oliard. I don't know what this is going to be. Is it going to be a joke? Relevant question at the moment. What was your thoughts during the test flight of Heavy Falcon? I personally had a tear in my eye. Watching those boosters land was amazing. Dude, I live so close to Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral. I only live 2 hours away. In my life, I've seen like 6 or 7 shuttle launches over the years. I was there for the last ever shuttle launch. It's always been a big part of my life. You guys know that. Space exploration, astronomy. That's one of my biggest passions. um, so to see, so the Falcon Heavy launch yesterday, I haven't felt that way in so long. I felt it must have been like, it must have been the way people felt way back in the day, in the 60s, watching the test firings of the Saturn V's, or the Gemini project. It must have been the way people felt back then, from 69 onward, to Apollo 17. That must have been what it felt like, watching humanity escape the bounds with this enormous rocket. And the most impressive thing was, without a doubt, those boosters coming down, right? I mean, the engineering feat alone of getting the rocket into space without detonating is a feat in itself. But to have those boosters land so soft, like a pillow, like your head hitting a pillow, and they're reusable. I mean, when those touched down, I sat back in my seat, and I legitimately started like tearing up, and my voice, I choked up, and I kind of, it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Elon Musk, everybody should be thanking him. He is such a visionary. He's what this world needs, you know? He's selling roof tiles for your home that are solar powered, and they're inexpensive. You can get a full, depending on the square footage of your home, it's like $21 a square foot to put on solar panel shingles on your home and potentially be off the grid. He's pushing technology in the direction that it needs to go. He's saying, fuck what we already know. This stuff, I mean, look at technology itself, right? In the last 100 years. 100 years ago, computers, get out of here. Computers, now we have a computer in our hand that's more powerful, way more powerful than the computer that they had on the LIM, or in the capsules during the Apollo missions, you know? Oh.
Who filmed the reaction on the crapper? And your wall tiles looked suspiciously like the color of the interior of Han's Falcon. Were they a pristine white?
No, they weren't, Tony. Give me one sec, man.
Smile, thumbs up, light skin tone.
But thanks, man. Give me one sec. But like I was saying, like, just think of technology in the past 100 years, right? 100 years ago, yeah, we were burning fossil fuels like we are today. But other facets of technology, electronics. We have a computer in our hand that's way more powerful than the Apollo moon landing computers for the LIM. Yet we're still using these same energy sources. What does that tell you? It's interesting. And Elon Musk is saying, okay, let's change the game. Self-driving cars, battery-powered cars, solar-powered homes, reusable rockets, a bullet train under the ground. That we need more visionaries like this in the world that are able to take risks. I mean, think about how many people are a lot like Elon Musk. They have visions, they're smart as shit, but they just didn't have the financial means to accomplish these goals. I'm so glad a guy like that exists. It's so important for the world. Something like a guy like that, he throws a monkey wrench into the system. He stirs things up. He promotes innovation, forward thinking, looking forward. That's so important. We're humans, and we should evolve with our technology. We should evolve our technology. We should evolve the way we get around. We should evolve the things that we use. So I think we're seeing a new birth of space exploration. And I hope SpaceX actually starts sending out like robot ambassadors. Like, we have the Curiosity rovers and stuff like that. I hope they kind of start doing that too, because that's very important as well. It's way cheaper and way less risky to send a robot to a planet than to send a group of humans, isn't it? We can gather the same amount of data. These robots don't necessarily, they don't have to eat and drink. They're not going to get emotionally compromised. So it's important to continue pushing those rovers and the robot ambassadors, as I call them. But long story short, Ollie, yeah, I had tears in my eyes. And I really regret not going down 2 hours south to watch the launch. Next time, though. Next time. I found a really awesome YouTube channel yesterday. So if you follow me on Instagram, my latest post on there, you'll see how I was watching it. On the right monitor, I had the SpaceX live stream, which they did such a fun. They made it fun. SpaceX stream, they made it fun. You have to watch it in its entirety. If you watch it from a couple minutes before the launch to the very end, they made it fun. That's very important nowadays. People like fun. You know, they get inspired by fun. But I found a really fun YouTube channel yesterday, and I highly recommend you guys subscribe to him. He's called Everyday Astronaut. And I subscribe to him, and I'm going to start supporting him. He's a big space enthusiast, a younger guy, and he owns like a Russian flight suit that I believe he got it on an eBay auction. And he takes really interesting pictures. He's a really smart guy. Everyday Astronaut. Check him out. Subscribe to him. Tell him HelloGreedo sent you. But Tony Zotti, the last question of the day. Who filmed the reaction on the crapper? And your wall tiles look suspiciously like the color of the interior of the Falcon. Were they a pristine? No, they were not pristine white before. They're actually the same color. Unless they were pristine white. See, my house was built in the 40s. Maybe they were white back then. I don't know. I'm sure the tile's newer than the 40s, though. I filmed it. I filmed that reaction. I filmed that reaction with a tripod. It took me a while to figure out a good angle with the wide angle lens. Like, I didn't want to get too much of the bathroom. I wanted to, I don't know. It was, surprisingly, it took longer to set up than you might think. Oh, you just put a camera down and sit on the shitter and hit record for 2 minutes. No, I filmed that. And that was just an idea I had this morning. I mean, you guys know the Last Jedi trailer reaction video was very similar. I just kind of sat there like everybody does, right? I mean, you watch these reaction videos and people are like, oh my god, it's the Millennium Falcon! Oh my god, it's Han Solo! Does anybody really react like that? Or are you guys, are you maybe putting on a little show? Putting on a little show. So I like making those videos because it's, and I get a kick out of the idea somebody coming there to that video because I think it's going to be a legitimate reaction video, and then seeing a guy in a stormtrooper helmet sitting on the shitter for 2 minutes and going, yeah, that looks fun, and then the video ends. I get a kick out of that. I get a kick out of trolling. But I appreciate that, Tony. After that awesome monologue, HG, I'm sorry for bringing the conversation to such a low level. No way, no way. There's no conversation. It's just a free-flowing jibber jabber of my mouth. You're good to go, dude. All right, guys. That was an hour and 52 minutes of a Patreon supporter sponsor Q&A. If you guys want to get on the fun for next time, I do these every other month. So the next one will be April 1st, maybe the first week of April or so. I don't really know. We'll see. I'll have to play that one by ear because my wife is kind of due. My baby's due around that time. Early April, mid-April, sometime around there. But so we'll play it by ear. But yeah, if you want to get on the fun, the way you can do it is you can support the channel on Patreon. Just patreon.com/HelloGreedo. There's tiers there, and you know you can submit your questions there every other month, or sponsor the channel directly through YouTube. Like you see the latest sponsor up there, Simple. He sponsored the channel today, and he can ask a question in the Discord server, or obviously sponsors can chit chat in this chat right now. So if you want to get on the fun and you want to support the channel. It means a lot, and I mean, really, that's the future. That's the future of content creation. The ad revenue system, it's wishy-washy. So, not even just me. If you like what somebody's making, whether it be a podcaster, somebody that makes comics online, or other YouTubers, or somebody that has a cool indie movie idea on Kickstarter, support them. Doesn't take much. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I want to say thank you to all the sponsors, all the patrons. I want to say thank you to Hawaii Matthew and Tony Zotti and Venom Jubear for today's Super Chat donations. I had no idea the Super Chat donations were turned on for this, but I guess I'll keep them on from now on. Why not? And thank you to Simple for being the latest sponsor to the HelloGreedo YouTube channel. So next Q&A will be early April. So maybe I'll have a baby by then. Who knows? All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, supporting us. Supporting us? It's just me. Supporting me. And supporting this thing. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. See ya.
Jedi named droid in the galaxy. Jedi named droid in the galaxy. Jedi named droid in the Jedi named droid in the Jedi.